I'm recording.
Right.
Alright, so when we left you guys, Tux had efficiently and quickly hidden anything to do with the papers that they stole, with anything with codexes, anything with the letters, obviously, and put it into his chest safe. And then you guys got the other maps and other documents from that you took from the satchel and were laid it all out, and maybe like the uniform and the flag and stuff, and all that took less than 30 seconds, uh, and there was like a full 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes from the point when you saw the captain with the guard walking up. So you guys were uh, probably talking quick. I imagine I want to give you guys like 3 minutes, which will be like human years to in-game dog years, to talk about what you want, like how you want to play this. Because like I want to give you guys 2 minutes of time that you would have. You see her, you got the shit taken up. What do you? What do you?
I
you
will
guys,
simply tell her that you were working for me, the three of you. Do any of you have any reason to have pause with the captain?
No.
They have.
What was that, Varys?
To have what with the captain?
Pause, problem, issue, any type of...
Let's go faster.
No, I think I'm doing okay.
Okay. Then I will simply tell her that the four of you are working for me. I have a tracker, I have a spy and infiltration expert, and a...
And me.
Mario.
You're my locksmith.
I have a fish guy. It's a guy. I gotta see a man about a fish.
You're my personal locksmith. You help me keep my gears greased, I guess.
Can you think of a less gross way to say it, please? That's disgusting.
Moving. My gears moving.
Better, but still kind of gross. Anyway, it's all good.
Does that sound good to everyone?
We...
Sounds okay with me.
Okay. Then we'd just be looking over the stuff as they come in, trying to look in detail.
But what did you hide? That's important to establish.
Everything, he already stated that.
Okay.
I hided everything that's not the stuff we found at the bottom of the ocean.
Okay, got it. Hang on, can we backtrack real quick to when you said hided?
Fuck.
I'm feeling better.
Go ahead, Austin. The floor is all yours.
Wow, she's not there yet.
Annette's gonna go just pretend to look at books. She's gonna be looking for books.
Adam, name of the episode: Hide Dead by Daylight.
I mean, Tux is inspecting the stuff on the table as they're coming in. He's just going to start looking at it, like actually looking at it. I'm not going to make a check until later because I don't want to bog us down. Because later on we're going to have a chance to make checks on everything.
All right, so, and I started to look this up 3 times last week, and I didn't think about it until this moment. How does an NPC challenge against you? They would roll insight, right, based off their insight.
Yep.
And then what do you roll against it?
It depends on what you're trying to do. Are you lying? Are you persuading?
Yeah. If I'm trying to persuade them, I persuade them. If I'm trying to lie to them, I lie.
I
I
will.
make a deception check.
But there's no lie. So it's a deception. Is there a deception check?
Yes.
Yes,
And
deception, persuasion, intimidation, and performance are your
So
four
essentially-
checks. But performance is typically going to be acting, singing, or playing an instrument.
I would also, Austin, unless you like have a fucking stat block for this chick, I would just set DCs. 10 is normal, 15's hard, 20 is almost impossible.
No,
Well,
yes, I don't want that block because
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, then I would set a DC.
gauge how difficult you think it would be and put the DC there.
this is whiskey.
It's expensive. It should be good.
Because the DC could be how suspicious she is of us and all this other stuff.
Right, but if
Yeah.
you
I was-
pass a check, it could go down. If you fail one, it could go up. You know.
Yeah, I was just overthinking it in my head a little bit, I guess, of trying to what goes against what. But the DC save is obviously, or just roll against the dice.
Yeah.
rolls. Much easier.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
She opens the door, and as she opens the door, an orange tabby cat runs in, like almost like between her feet, like it was almost gonna trip her up, but she's an elf, and so she saw it and was graceful about it, but still kind of like, the fuck, cat, I was gonna let you in. So that happened, and they bring the cart inside, but leave it like in the foyer area where there's like tile and stuff. They don't get it on the carpet or anything like that. And then the other guard goes outside the door and stands in front of the door, and the captain walks up to Tux. Ah, Tux, yes. I heard you were in the area. I heard you were here at the library. I also got reports that you went down to the dock and have returned. I wanted to know if you had anything to update me on. I'm certainly not trying to micromanage you or your. She does this. Team. And you can tell she's like shitting on all you guys.
Okay.
But I just wanted to know how things were going and if you had any preliminary reports to get out of curiosity.
Well, as you can see by looking at the table here, this is what we have found. I am currently trying to assess exactly what information I need to look up within the library so I can figure out what all we have. We have a flag, a uniform of some sort of military officer, and this satchel that was also on the officer,
Well, okay.
with some correspondence written in a ancient form of Elvish.
Really? May I see it?
Yes, you may.
She looks
And
at
he pulls it out and hands it over to her.
She looks at it and she asks, "And can you read this?"
I can decipher some of it, as well as my friend Hunter here. He helped me originally decipher it.
Excellent. And she hands it back. I also heard that you ordered or requisitioned 2 bags of holding. Or, I should say, I believe you requisitioned more, but we have 2 for you for the duration of your service.
That is fantastic. Thank you very much.
And it
Never
is,
know when they will come in handy.
Indeed, especially when you're apparently going down searching wreckages. I can imagine.
I made it all the way to the floor. Do you know what the giant grate is at the bottom of the bay?
She looks completely perplexed. Giant grape, you say?
Yes, there's a large grate that the ship fell and landed on top of.
Huh. Well, I mean, the city is very old. I do not know.
Very interesting.
Maybe we should look into that at some point. But for now, it sounds like you're on the right course. Oh yes, she turns around, and Minister. Oh, Avi. Yes. Avi also wanted to talk to you. If there's anything else that you need, or plans on? Do you have any idea where your next step is? Not that you need to know right now. You have till Friday.
What exactly are you needing us to find out?
Whatever you can find out, I suppose. And with that, I must leave you. I have an appointment. Minister Abe, I believe, also had some questions for you, and have a good day. And she looks around and dead eyes Varys with like these like maybe only the elves would notice it. I guess I don't know how attuned.
I'm looking at books.
But
Like, she just kind of
she's
gave
not
me a
trying to
bad look, like,
she's not trying to hide it, right? That's not the point. I'm not. You
Yeah.
don't have to roll checks for it, but it's just subtle. And some of you are like, "Did she just give Varys a dead eye?" But the elves are like, "Oh, she dead eyed Varys hard." It's like, and then she turns around and walks away.
Roll insight. See if she just wants to like romance him.
Maybe that's it.
Like, can we roll for very sexiness? Like,
Well, Mr. Avi, you have questions?
14.
well, if she's walking away, I don't think I can ask her what her problem is, but
I mean, with an insight, with 14 and the Deadeye, it might be something to do about you going and talking to her about the things that were stolen just a few days ago. And she knows that you were the one trying to ask about them, and then they were stolen. So she's dead. She's giving you a dead eye, but she didn't really care. She only spoke to Tux and only asked questions to Tux, and then turned around and left. And then Minister Otto kept them. So all that happened very at that fast. So, Minister Otto
Hey.
then comes and everyone else and says, Tux, how are things going?
They're going quite swimmingly so far. I mean, I found these things at the bottom of the bay, and now we have to identify them. Maybe if I look at them some more, I can get a list of books for you to pull for me. You would know where they are, correct?
Well, sure, I'd be happy to help. She takes her sweater vest off.
Is there anything you needed from us? The captain said you had questions.
Well, I was really just being a nosy Nancy. Who cares what's going on? But if there's something I can do, then put me to work.
Mind your
Varys, what was that?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, sorry.
Very spartan. Come on, Barry. That's not
Tux would then start looking at this stuff more in depthly, like to make an extra history check, see if there's anything I can find, so I can reference what we need to look for. And I'm guessing the minister will have the best idea of what we need to reference.
Yeah.
Once I give her the information I have on these, which I think I threw away the sheet I had notes on because it got wet, and I just now realized.
Annette pops up while she's looking at books because she's not gonna be any good at figuring this shit out, and she goes, Messer Avi, do you know perhaps the best place to look for city schematics and perhaps even old dating back further in dates?
Well, sure. They'd probably be in the planning archive. We might have a few things up there. I mean, most of that's pretty recent. But we have, I think, one or two old manuscripts. Give me a history check, John. Because John put together a list of books.
Have we also determined what the symbols were that were on the items?
That's a 12. Not a great roll.
So you just don't have a lot of memory crystals or memory energies or memory things of this stuff. This isn't in the stuff, but you have much. But you still know you're like, well, I want to see the naval maritime records that we have, all the that we have of anything foreign and outside of the Waterdeep and Sword Coast kingdom. I also want to know, like, so you list off 2 or 3 books about, naval time stuff, and then what else? What do you think else you think you might ask for?
The any histories we have or recollections we have of the Teldari, if there's any mention of them at all. That's
The Teldari. My
from
goodness.
Gilder.
Now I think isn't that one of the islands?
Isn't it the
That's
Teleri?
who's mentioned. Teleri. Teleri, that's what it was.
Okay, I was.
Teleri.
Yes.
Okay, the Teleri from Gilder.
Yes. From Gilder. I believe. They
Now that
contacted
rings a
us.
bell for something. What is that? I swear I heard that name. Well, it'll come back to me. I'll go get your books. And if you want to come with me, sweetie, I can come and show you where our planet archives are.
Very well. Alonzi. Means
All right,
let's go.
then, she has like she took out like a little notebook. She had like a write in the rain notebook with like a pen and stuff, and she took your notes down, Tux, and then she kind of catches the net by eye, and then sort of waddles off. In my mind, she's like she's round, like she looks like she could make a platter of fucking pancakes that would like blow up your glucose levels. Like, and she looks like she makes it a lot for her family. She definitely has like that sweet old aunt side. And whenever Tux talks, she just looks at Tux like she's just so fucking proud of Tux.
So she
For whatever reason, she just thinks Tux is really cool.
Aunt Jemima. Then is that what you were getting at there with pancakes and ants?
That's just racist.
Look, you put it out there. I'm just trying to. I'm trying to figure it out.
But
I want to know where the context for racism is. Calling bullshit on that because he connected pancakes and the lady from the pancake syrup. That's not on him.
Aunt Jemima has also been reshaped, so it's all good.
I thought isn't renamed, right?
No, she's
Pearl Mill.
yeah.
It's a really, really good pancakes company.
Triple A pancakes.
That would have been funnier. But yeah, you're probably right. That's not racist. But I guess I did change. So, and then you guys walk off, and then you go upstairs. So, I guess Hunter, Barry, and Tux are just sort of chilling in like the study room area. Oh, obviously there's a cart full of shit over about 20 feet over from you guys. I imagine you guys might be a little hungry or whatever. You don't have to go over there and take it if you don't want to. Yeah, you can keep looking at the notebook and the paperwork.
Yep. The Tux is not hungry at all. He's gonna keep looking at shit.
He doesn't eat.
He would actually make a drink and find you. To bring you.
She grabbed like a banana on her way by.
Yeah, so the cart just has like some food. It's got breads and cheeses and stuff, and because that breads and cheeses, that's all it ate back then, right? And it has some like salted dried meats. It has a few dehydrated vegetable assortments. It's got some dried fruits. It all looks like stuff that would keep well, right? Nothing fresh, but things that would keep well.
Sure.
And then there's a box that has like a little clasp on the lid, and it's got some tunics and stuff that are just general tunics, because some of y'all had gotten cut up and healed, right?
Sure.
Just thoughtful shit, right?
Right.
They basically went to the storehouse and just put it there. You guys don't have to do anything with it. She comes back with, she'd take a net up to the top, and she'd say, all the archives for the town are in here, darling. You can come in here and look around, and I'll come and get you.
If perhaps there's just a few, if you wouldn't mind, I could bring them back to the group, and we will return them under your supervision, of course.
Well, I mean, you're operating under the captain's authority, darling. You don't have to worry too much about that right now. We just don't want anything to leave the library in general. But
Of course, it won't.
what exactly are you looking for? I mean, right here, and she points to what looks like a very modern, very well done and precise layout of the city. Here's the current city planning. Here's some projections of some new roads. We're gonna push this out over here. We've got some. What are you looking for?
There's. I'm guessing the grate isn't on there, right?
No, it shows there's
Okay.
it's just the walls, and then it just shows like essentially just deep, very deep, and shallower, and then it's got like a dotted line for where the tide goes in and out type thing. And
Um. Yeah, she's gonna say. Well, as Tux told Captain Islandi, he saw a very large grate underneath the shipwreckage in the bay. Perhaps I was just looking for, some plans of origin for what that might be, what the purpose of that might be. I was hoping to find them.
goodness gracious, hon, I could spend a week here and not know for sure. I think the oldest one's over here, and then she kind of walks over to the right and opens up this drawer, and like you can just smell like the musk and just like the cedar, right? Isn't that what keeps moths and shit away?
Yes.
And yeah, it's definitely it's got like a cedar brick in there or whatever. Well, here's one of our older ones, but it's actually just a mix of many different ones that were put together over time. You said you're looking for something out in the bay. Let me see. And she kind of shuffles through and shuffles through. Well, here it looks like there might have been, and she points to generally where the area that you were looking for. It looks like there might have been something here that was planned. This one is, she checks the date. This is almost 300 years old, but it looks like there might have been a drain or something that was proposed. But you can see the red dotted line here, and then it's got the slash. That means it was essentially canceled, which is weird.
Someone put it in.
You're not there. Shut up, John.
Fucked up.
Shut the fuck up, John.
Here, let me.
Here comes the hammer.
There you go. Well, it's got, but this drain was more of
God damn it, John.
Just fucked him up.
Yes. Oh, that's is very interesting. I didn't hear any of that.
So essentially, let me check the codex, and then she looks at the code, and then she goes and pulls this out, and then she looks up this old. Oh yes, it looked like there was a plan to try and drain the bay. It looked like it was just gonna have some sort of wizard's pump to just push it out all into the bay. Essentially, just like a little trough that went underneath the break. Not the break. What is this? And she tries to read it. Oh, the stone. And then it's kind of hard to read, but I mean, it looks. I can't really tell. Oh, here. This is. And then she hops over and pulls this other one up and says, "Oh, it looks like it was built, but then it collapsed soon after." And what you might have seen is what was left of the drain, I suppose. But this happened so long ago. But it says here that they put something over it. They put a stone wall over it to make sure nothing else got down in there and was that would get trapped in the bedrock. But looks like it must have come undone. That's really interesting. Huh.
This is interesting. Well, the wall certainly isn't there according to Tux. There is a ship over top of it, but that certainly wouldn't prevent it from draining if needed.
show these to Tux. And so she gets the map and she puts it like in a slip cover with it open to that page so it doesn't get too much stuff on it. And then she takes other documents that she was referencing out to it. Okay, well, we've got these. Is there anything else you were interested in here?
No, it was mostly about the drain.
Okay, then. And then now to go get these books.
Thank
And-
you.
I'll see you down there, sweetie.
Okie dokie. When I go down there, I just want to tell these guys this in character so I don't forget about it. I'm going to give them the quick and dirty on what Avi just told me, and I'm going to say, boys, I'm not sure, but perhaps that ship was pulled down there. Perhaps the bay was mid-drain and the ship was pulled down there. Just a thought. Keep it in the back for safekeeping.
Could be.
I mean, if it fucking, like I said, if it crashed right over top of it, who knows? I don't know. I just wanted to say that before I forgot.
Gotcha.
So it takes another 5 minutes or so for her to come back down with books. Are you guys gonna do anything or say anything before she comes back?
Tux would like to start seeing if he can find any information, like a history of the king and his decisions, and like whatever, like a brief almanac style history of his reign, the current king's reign. He wants to try to find something like that.
What was that, Hein? Are you talking about the royal decrees?
Sure. Like, he
Alright,
wouldn't be
yeah,
saying
right.
this out loud. I'm telling you, he's doing this.
Well, you wouldn't. I mean, I thought
Tux
you
would get up and walk over
Tux,
and
do you
look
have volume control on that fucking computer?
through the fucking...
I'm having a hard time controlling the volume of my voice.
Exactly.
He doesn't think out
Voice
loud,
modulation.
Austin.
Dude, Austin's deep in the role play. You can't tell if you're talking to him or Avi, okay?
I thought you were
No.
talking to the guys out loud. Like, I'm gonna go. And
I
talk
said
to-
Tux would get up and go get a book on...
That's gonna be my next character quirk. Is I narrate everything I'm doing.
So, give me a library check to see how well you can find shit.
A history check?
You know, get your library skill rolling.
You know what he would do? He's not gonna use the library check. He's gonna go to the fucking duodecimal system,
The card catalog.
where the fucking almanac is, and get the information he needs. Why would I make a check?
So yes, you see the royal decrees are all kept in the section for royal decrees that directly deal with Waterdeep are in this section, and the ones that are just general for the realm or other sections outside the Waterdeep area are in the section right next to it. But
Okay.
it's like 20 something like books. It's shit.
Yeah.
Like it's not just this king's royal decrees, it's the kingdom's royal decrees.
He's gonna pull the most recent from this king's reign. That's all he's looking for.
Okay.
So, like the 3 most recent editions, or however many editions apply to this king's reign, and
there's quite a few. You got like 6 different books.
he'll know where the other ones are if he feels like he needs to reference them. This is simply to get a read on the king, so we have an idea of what he's about.
Sure. Yeah. So I mean, I like to think that you're pretty good. You got the speed reading. You're jumping over different paragraphs and jumping over different things. You're not like reading any one individual.
Well,
So
he's just collecting information to look through.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Some of the things you look at, you see there's different decrees that have to deal with like marriage, like marriage laws, where I guess you would be able to guess were more strict. Other races you can marry, like other basically and people from other realms and stuff. Like in his realm you can come here and be married and then there's a lot of trade like decrees. Some things that make it easier on others, some things that make it harder, some things that are just like economic stuff, like no importing of there are high tariffs on bee syrup. honey, obviously, bee syrup.
He's gonna set aside anything.
You fucking said bee syrup? Bee milk. It's bee milk. You milk the bees and you get honey.
Bee juice.
Yeah. That's all honey is, really. It's just bee jizz.
At all. John is fucking straight face. He got it right there.
It's bee jizz.
So, like,
He-
there's a high tariff on honey that you can't bring the honey in because it's hurting the local honey population and honey. Like, I mean, there's a lot of shit that's like that. What were you gonna say?
He's gonna take any trade decrees, and he's gonna set those aside, so he can look at to see if Lee would have possibly upset, and as well as anything he may find having to do anything with pirates, anything that may have set the pirates off in the trade, maybe different trade registries or something that may have had something to do with that recently.
In the last 10 years, there have been no decrees. Like, he's been there for like, I don't know, 45 years. Like,
Okay.
right? But the past 10 years, there's been almost nothing. And from what you can tell, going through these, you can see that he is doing decrees to strengthen the kingdom's position in a trade area, because there's kingdoms all over, right?
Okay.
He's trying to strengthen trade with some people. He's trying to put sanctions on others because they did something. Like, a lot of it seems pretty normal shit. There is some, like, he seems to be a pretty open-minded king with a lot of stuff. And then the very last decree is a decree reversing his decree on marriage, saying that only people of the same opposite gender, same race, and must be from you can't marry outside your class and stuff like that. Like, so apparently he basically redid the status quo before, but then made it. I mean, you don't really know what the status quo was before, just from his decree. But after that, there was nothing.
Currently married?
You don't know.
Well, I would be able to figure that out from this information, correct?
Well, from the decrees, probably not.
There wouldn't be a royal announcement that the king was married and the king was wed?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Because a decree is a royal announcement.
But you might not have been awake during the time if it happened.
I have the book of all the royal decrees in my hands.
You have the decrees, but you don't have their birth, like the genealogy or lineage. That's what you'd want to find. I'm not going
to see if they're still alive. But has he been married?
The king has been
like
married.
a bitch.
Okay. Then he would. Then the next two things he would want to look for would be a history, like if there's a year in review of whatever 10 years ago was, and then he'd look for the lineage of the royal house.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean,
I don't need a full explanation. I'm just trying to find out if the king is currently married, if so, whom to, and what country are they from. And
so
then
you go
history-wise, is there something that I can denote in the previous year's history that would have caused a change in the king's attitude?
You go back to the royal section. I imagine your fastidiousness after you look at the decrees, you're probably putting them back. And right next to it, there is a genealogy of the king's house and of the royal house line. Of course, there is. And you look at it and you see that the king was married rather young for royalty when he was like 21, which is almost as soon as he would have been able to make that decision. And then a couple of years after that, he then became king. And then 15 years ago, when the king was in his 30s, his wife died. She died in childbirth, and her and the baby, neither of them survived. And the king has not remarried synth, and there are no other. He is the only one of this particular line. Like I don't know how much Scottish history you know, or like Irish or anything, but like those things kind of flip flop sometimes. Where we don't have an English king. Let's go back up the line. Oh, the King of Scotland's the king. No, he's the King of England. So like there's people who proclaim in the throne, right? Because there's like a branch, but this one is kind of isolated, and it's all come down to him, and he is not married, and there is only other people for the throne are all very very young, like preteens. So
Did his child
no,
survive? Okay.
the king is childless and is unmarried, and his wife died in childbirth.
And did anything happen 10 years ago?
The
Today's
king,
game brought to you by 23andMe.
That would have caused that change in, because it doesn't make sense that his kid died, his wife died, and then 5 years later he just fucking changed his opinion on shit. So I'm trying to see if there's any. Were we at war? Did we sign a treaty with a certain nation?
Yeah. From the other decrees and stuff, he did start to get more of a centralist. Like he started getting tougher on tariffs. He started getting tougher on trade. He seemed to the before, like while his wife was still alive and stuff, it seemed like he was trying to grow the kingdom. But now it seems like things stopped with the royal decrees. That he was no longer trying to make favorable positions for other kingdoms outside to sell their wares cheaply inside his kingdom, kind of thing. To give you like an example, like I mean, there's some definite king shit going on, right? And that's what fucking kings do. But after, there's nothing that really sticks out. Just a general hardening that
Okay.
you can tell.
He was soft and loose with his rules and trades.
A little bit, yeah.
And in the past 5 years, he got a little stricter, and then he's shut down.
Looking at the date when his wife and kid died, and the decrees, after that, you now looking back on it with your memories or whatever, you can see, that's why he seemed to have gotten harsher up until the end when he stopped 10 years ago.
Okay. Thank you. Tux is now fully on board to get all those letters to the king, just so you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say while all this is happening,
no one else knows this yet. But
I would want to be trying to find. I don't even know where I would start, but I would want to be looking for information on that Duchess lady.
You're
like,
muted, guys.
Yeah.
You're muted.
Oh, the bot was muted.
Damn.
Yeah, I got put in Facebook jail by somebody.
Were you trying to say something?
Oh no, I was trying to acknowledge the fact that I'm in Facebook jail.
Oh, okay. I just saw you waving. I was like, what the fuck?
Facebook what?
Sorry, Adam, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I don't know where exactly to start with any of this because I'm not really a library guy myself. But we'd be looking for maybe not local, but surrounding authorities. Like, because I still want to know who the hell this lady is. We have zero information on her, still. So, while we're here, that was the whole thing, that was the one thing I wanted to come here for. But that's it. That's what I wanted to say. So if I find anything like that, let me know.
Varys or Hunter, you guys looking for anything?
I just wanted to learn more about the symbols that we found out, the lineage of the symbols to trace that back. But you guys were covering other stuff too, so that's cool.
All right. So, do you want to look up information on like the ancient Elvish script? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. To see if there's something else that we're not seeing on there, just in case.
Okay. So if you could find like a dictionary that helps you decipher it.
Yeah,
basically.
because according to my language, it could be one thing, but actually it actually means something else in a different time, from a different time period.
I got a Spanish to English dictionary in the other room. Would that help?
God damn it, I will move you too,
No
Adam.
Nintendo.
Would he be able to find this at Austin?
This is what happens.
What happened was...
Minister Abe comes back and says, "Here you go, Tux. Here's some books. I found one about naval warfare of the past 20 years. And there's an interesting chapter there on the pirates, and then here's one on maritime. Now it's more about flags and signals, but it does have a section here about insignia. But I couldn't find anything matching what I see here, or anything outside our sort of little circle of the king. So she gives you some books and stuff, and I imagine the conversation that you guys just had was probably out loud, and she says, "What were some books you were looking for, dear?" She's talking to you, boss.
I'm looking for better knowledge of the ancient language that I speak, ancient Elvish.
I'm so sorry, but that is something that we don't have very much of. We have some dictionaries, sure, but we don't nothing that goes back anything more than take 100 years or so. Even then, I know you guys don't change your language very often, but I don't know if I would call that ancient, if you know what I mean. But I'll certainly get you what we have.
Fair enough.
Okay. All right then. And then she turns around and she comes she's out looking for that stuff. She's only comes back a few minutes. And she then says, "Tux, I remembered. So Gildor and what was that? What was the other thing that you said? Talari?
The Talari.
The Talari, yes.
Yes.
Those names I remember now because we had a request from the king for those books. But he didn't use those terms. What did he say? He said, gosh, because I didn't get it. It came down and then it went to one of my minions. And then they went and got it for him. But he was asking for some houses of the island, the Circle Islands down there with Alarn and Gildor and Ragashim and just outside the Sea of Swords. And I think it was written down with a question mark. I don't know what that meant, but I know we don't have them now. I went and checked because they were taken out, but
I believe they may be tied to this attack. I'm not sure.
Well, that's certainly.
And I also believe it may have something to do with the king. We may need to speak with him.
Well, that's just kind of terrifying to me. I'm just a minister of.
If you tell me he's looking into these people, he could have dangerous dealings with them.
Well, he might not want you to know. He might not want you to know that he's got those feelings. Everything I'm saying is essentially under the strictness of confidence, and because you're working for the captain, and the captain kind of represents the king. This is all so confusing. But
that's if you believe they're working together.
I mean, these days, I guess, who can tell? After all that zombie stuff, everything kind of got a little weird. But yeah, so that's. But I just wanted to let you know because you asked. But now, I might keep that under your hat if you're looking for those two, because anybody else. And she kind of like turns around and looks at you again and kind of whispers, "They probably know the king was looking for that stuff too, and they don't. But then I guess you're just following your leads here."
Would you be able to set a meeting with the king so I can speak with him?
Well, I can certainly ask the captain. I wouldn't be able to do that because we're just one of his cities. But I mean, I'll certainly pass that along to the captain.
I think that would be good.
So you think that it's one of these Well,
I
mean,
don't know what has
I guess
happened,
it, I
but
guess
I have
it-
many theories.
I guess it only makes sense
Precisely 174.
if we were having issues. Oh, you're just so sweet. I guess if we were having issues with these islands and they attacked us, the king would probably have a reasonable suspicion of maybe that why they were attacking us, or he was having problems with them in the first place. I guess.
He may have known the attack was imminent.
He might not. He might have. He might have had an inkling, but didn't have anything to. I mean, I don't really know anything.
He may have no idea whatsoever.
Huh. Well, yes. Sorry. Yes, sir. I will come right back with those Elvish books, and then she kind of scurries off, and then comes back with some Elvish books that to you are essentially just like a grammar and dictionary of the regular Elvish script with
Okay.
nothing
So
more
basically
than
everything I already know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it has all the common idioms, nothing old or nothing outside like your vernacular, the where you come from, kind of thing.
Okay.
So everyone's together now, and everyone has the information they asked for, right?
Huh?
Decent amount. Yeah.
Yeah, unless
We'd
they're
be waiting for her to leave.
Hey, Austin, not to get. I was just looking at stuff for Waterdeep. That's a dope map.
I don't see anything.
I put it in the Google chat, the meet chat. It's got all these pins all over Waterdeep, and you can click on them, and they tell you what the fuck they're about.
Nice.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's very cool. I mean, obviously there's some stuff, but like that we've added that you keep, but like it's got some rad shit. Anyway, yeah, was there? I probably wouldn't have asked for Avi's help, but did I come across anything on surrounding royalty or dignitaries?
I don't know.
Okay.
You might have done, but I want to hear some of your thoughts and logic of how you might have gotten there.
I mean,
What are you looking for?
I told you, what I'm looking for specifically is trying to get any kind of information that I can on who the hell this lady in the picture is, because all we have is her letters between her and the king and a picture. But I'm not trying to give that shit away to Avi, so I realize that my searching capabilities may be impeded by as such.
All right, so Avi just seems to be sticking around, looking at Tux and like.
Well, if she's just
taking
sticking
notes.
around, Tux would say, Minister, if you don't mind, we would need some privacy to discuss our investigation.
Oh, of course you do. Absolutely. I'm just being a nosy Nelly, and I just love watching you work, Tux. I just think you're so awesome. But all right, if you guys need anything else, you guys know what Tux. You know where my office is. The library, of course, at your disposal.
Thank you. I will debrief you on all pertinent information at your security level
You
when
are
we are
just
finished.
you are just such a charmer, aren't you, my security level? All right, and then she turns around and sort of waddles off, and then she turns around and gives you like a little winged
Is this like a robo-file or something? Like, what's up?
I mean, I'll bang an old lady at the library. I'm fine with it. Tux, I don't know about him.
dirty double dog.
But John's down.
All right, so she's gone. She closes the door behind you, and then the guard walks off with you guys, and they lock the door behind them. The library is your oyster. Oh, Adam.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't want to spend all day in the library, although
Well,
I wouldn't mind. You guys are finding out some fun shit. And the library is a great place to go if you guys are looking for this kind of shit. But Scotty, is there anything Barry's would want to do or look at while everyone else is sort of like going around looking up stuff about everything? Like, what's Barry thinking about right now?
I guess I'm thinking about how to get close to the king
Sure.
with the lady in the picture.
I like to think that after she left, you might get the codexes out, and you might be looking at the codexes again. Do you think
Yeah,
you
I
might?
can look through those. Yeah,
You
I'm
think
kind of catching up here with what all is going on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll take cover with it.
Yeah. I mean, just trying to decipher, just like because an old code breaker, spy, just all around scoundrel that you are. Um, John, you're pouring over uh, the letters and stuff, and then Adam, you get that picture, and you're looking at. I just imagine you guys like I don't know. In my mind, you guys have a while, and you guys are looking up stuff, and I like to think that like there's this montage of you guys like sitting in chairs and reading stuff, and then some of you guys get up and go get something to eat, and you guys are like looking, and because it takes time to do this kind of research, this in-depth research you guys are doing,
Sure.
and I like to think that Adam, your character eventually comes on like an older version of the king's um, family tree,
Okay.
right? And eventually, you would find that he had a young sister who was killed or died. Uh, Essentially, the ship was lost at sea when she was around 12 or 13,
Okay.
and her name was removed from family histories after that because it was said that it was painful for the king, and he didn't want to see it.
So
Just like it was his wife and their child.
sounds shady, but cool.
Yes. Are there any other questions that anyone has that they want to kind of search here in the library? You don't have to roll any checks or anything. Because essentially, what I'm trying to establish is that you guys are there for a while. You're not trying to rush, and if there's anything that you want to find, you would probably, if there is in the library, you would probably have to find it. Does anyone else have any other questions? Scotty, you find in like the royal decree area something about the codexes. Essentially, that the codexes are unique to the individual, and only the person like they're coded, obviously. But I have my own code, and then at the royal, like in the king's palace, there would be a corresponding code. So I would know I had to know who the person was, or try all of them until I found it. So if you have the code, if you have someone's papers using that code, it can be traced back as to who they came from. So it's a sort of form of encryption, but also of there's a cybersecurity term. Essentially, knowing who they came from, so that they just didn't come from anybody. But what you read about the codexes wasn't actually in that. It was scrolled on a piece of paper that was kind of like used as a bookmark in that area, and it was old. It wasn't like this is how our codexes work. It looked like someone was and then left it in there after they got it, kind of a thing. So that's what you know about codexes. Boz, you see some elvish script, like elvish script, and like absolutely nothing helpful whatsoever.
Bummer.
And John, you find that that in the king's father's time, there was a lot more pirates and pirate raids and stuff.
Okay.
And his father built what is now considered one of like like a world power kind of navy, kind of like an England navy. Even though his realm, what I'm going to say is, if you look on that map that you guys are looking at now, in my little world, Sword Coast and Waterdeep are part of the same island, are the same kingdom, right?
Uh huh.
Yeah.
And
Waterdeep's in the Sword Coast.
right, but it's just notified differently on here because Waterdeep is, it's ruled by the king. It's a king. It's like a city state. It's part of the kingdom, but they still have some of their own identity, kind of thing, and it's ruled by the captain. So some of it's like just old school political stuff. There's really not a lot. There's no borders or anything, right? They're all considered realm or citizens of the.
Oh, I see.
But
I see what you're saying.
Waterdeep is it's just like a jurisdictional territory that was never erased because it had history and whatever, and so that's why it stayed in there. So, and because Waterdeep was always had like its own, and because during the zombie wars, it held its own, and it was the only town of its size that was never infiltrated or had any zombies because they were able to keep them out. Even at the peak, Waterdeep was the only one that never fell to zombies. So they still have quite a bit of political pull in and of themselves. And while you're looking at, she brought you something about the islands, and it does say that there are some notable gold and fine precious metal mines on the islands, which is why a lot of those islands, even though they're small, enormous wealth, because they're one of the only gold mint, the places that actually makes new gold from raw gold, not just like profits or taxes or whatever.
Actual gold mines.
Yeah, is what's it's called the Iron Keep, is where they do all of the minting of precious jewels and the from all of the surrounding ones. So those islands are well, there's two islands, Gildor and Ilarion, if you guys can see it.
Uh huh.
Gildor and Ilarion, they're sort of sister islands, but they're separate. But they have they're strong allies, kind of thing. So these are some of the things that you read about. You read about some of the islands. You read about some of the things. But John, nothing ever comes up about House Talari, and it looks like most of the things that you read about were probably written this century. So nothing very old, and
Very
nothing,
outdated.
and there's certainly nothing about the house or royal structure or anything like that of Gildor or Valerion.
Any pertinent information is probably already checked out by the king, so we'd have to talk to him.
Maybe.
So does everybody lay out all their information?
Yeah.
Like everybody gets everything on the table, put it out there. Everybody knows everything that we know right now. Agreed?
Here's a nothing I found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hunter says, "Hey, I found out that this could mean a fresh stew, or it could mean a dick. I didn't know
Other
that."
than stuff that's previously established that we're hiding, no one's hiding anything they found today, right?
I am not.
Scotty?
Yeah.
Okay. You're not hiding anything that you... I don't know that you found anything, but...
You found information on the codexes.
The
Oh,
only
that's
thing
right.
I found is that my group of people are a secretive bunch.
Would you hide that, or would you tell us that?
I don't know. I'll reveal that I found the information on the codex.
Okay.
Yeah, Scotty, just in general, you've never intentionally withheld anything from the group, right? Or is there anything you just haven't told them yet?
No, I haven't been withholding anything intentionally.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't... Yeah, no, he told us he had a guy, yeah, no, not that I know of, but I was just making sure.
Totally cool. So you guys spend the day at the library, and I kind of like that you guys had to think about some of this, and it did take us time because I don't know if you guys have ever done any kind of research It takes a long time.
Can we?
It was a real Breakfast Club kind of day. I get it.
It was.
Now we gotta talk all this shit out and see where we're going next.
All right. So you guys have this information. We'll say it's around noon. It's noon on Wednesday. Your deadline is Friday to get something to the captain, and you have a meeting tonight at the river outlet.
Yeah.
Talk to one of Captain Riggs' been for the letters.
I think that needs to be at the top of our list because it's the nearest deadline. So she'll say, "Okay, we found some great stuff here. We need to approach these things in order of urgency. What are we doing? What are we telling his man when we meet them? Are we going to this meeting? Are we skipping it? What's the plan?"
With all this information currently, should we? I almost don't think he's the one we should work with. We could use the meeting with him as information for the king or the captain. But I don't know which I'd like to work with, not both.
Well, not that long ago, you wanted to work with the king.
Right.
I feel like I want to even more now with this information that I've found today.
Yeah, I think working with the king would be pretty good.
It certainly will bring along some weight if we can have the king's backing.
So do we meet with him and see what he wants to do with the pirates?
I don't know that we will be able to garner an audience with the king before our deadline tonight.
I believe. Why not walk in there? State we have found information that was being used to blackmail the king. And we'd like to
You would know
deliver
that
it to him.
the king doesn't live in Waterdeep, and it would take more than a day.
Where the
If the king is where he's supposed to be, then his house is more than a day's journey.
Where the hell is he supposed to be? I was under the impression he lived in Castle Waterdeep.
Yeah, I was under the impression of that the entire time.
Yeah, where's he live?
We've been talking
What?
about setting up a meeting with the king. Information that would have been useful yesterday.
We could box him.
So you thought the king was in Waterdeep?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the whole
I've
time.
been mentioning
The king
having
of
a
Waterdeep.
meeting with him
We
for a
thought the king of
long
Waterdeep
time.
was in Waterdeep.
We need to
You've
meet
been
up with
having
him.
a meeting with him for a long time. You never asked if the king was in Waterdeep, and I didn't know you were making that assumption because I didn't know that was an assumption you were making. Assumptions are, assumptions.
I'm planning on barging in the castle, kicking down the door, being like, "I got this shit. This your bitch. Here's a picture. What you want us to do?"
This is a real wild voice change for Tux there.
It is. It's his true personality.
The king's representative is the person that you stole those from.
No, it's not. We stole them from the captain who was using them to blackmail the king.
And the captain is the king's representative in
Yes, that's true. That has been established.
Okay, but why would the king be mad at us for stealing information that was being used to blackmail?
Well, he probably wouldn't, but if he's not here, it's moot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter at this point.
I mean, you are making an assumption, although I would say it's an educated.
Tux would not have made that assumption because he would have had that knowledge.
that they're using it for blackmail. You don't 100% know, but you are intuiting that essentially.
That's what you told us way early on.
I didn't forget that.
You did.
I don't recall.
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, he was always been referred to as the king, and maybe once or twice of Waterdeep, but I don't know. I'm not gonna hold him to it.
No, you never said he was in Waterdeep. I'm saying you said that he was being blackmailed by the captain.
I outlined some. You're killing me, John. So, there are some shady things as to why the captain would even have that, how long that captain has held on to it, the fact that it was in the captain's safe and that it was all royal stuff. So we first heard about it from Varys. Varys got a tip that, and this was where you heard that because the tip said it sounds like the king is either the king or the captain is up to something because she's holding something in there. And why would she do that if she's the king's man, essentially, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
we've made some assumptions that there's some shadiness going on surrounding these things. There could be some blackmail somewhere on this spider web. It could very well be the captain is holding this over the king, or the king doesn't, or the captain could be holding it over Lady Lorana. Is that the name? Lady Lorana.
Oh, did Austin just slip up and give us a name?
We would.
I want to make a history check on Lady Verana.
So your assumptions are all mostly correct. Of shady stuff is going on, but we haven't clearly identified the heart of the matter.
Well, I mean, none of it matters at this point because we cannot address the king. And I'm not going to be able to get the captain to call him here when I think the captain's done something wrong. So it's a moot point. It's no point that I have the information.
Well, no. Here's what is it?
Travel a day away when we're busy dealing with this investigation with the pirates.
Well, no. Just
we're not going to do that.
Where's the king live?
The
Like,
king lives in the southern part of the southern Sword Coast.
okay.
In the area just south of Daggerford. So the north part of the south coast is where one of the king's residences is, and where he has been the past couple of years. He's got a few houses, right? And he's been staying at his Daggerford estate doing his, and that's where he's been holding court.
Okay.
It's on the map.
It's
Be about 8 to 10 days.
Dagger. Okay, there's Daggerford.
Maybe 5 by the map.
Well, I mean, he told us it's a day's ride there, so let's just go with that.
And then a day's ride back, and we have to like I don't know.
So we have 3 days to give the captain something, right?
And it's 2 days. If you had horses, it might be a day and a half. If you if you could get some fresh horses in between there, there's some horses that are kept here, and you guys could probably make it in a day and a half.
So here's what we.
Or I could shapeshift into a horse and let them just ride on me.
I mean, well, yeah, that's one person though.
So all you need is one.
Yeah, we're just gonna stack up on top of each other.
You won't be able to talk.
What if one of us went and did it?
You won't be able to talk to the king tonight.
Right. Okay. I got this. Okay. So here's what we do, fellas. We procure equines, get some horses, right? We ride them to this meat spot. I say we get the horses, relax the rest of the day, ride to this meat spot. Tell this man whatever we need to tell him to hold off this pirate boy. Then we immediately leave for Daggerford, try to get an audience with the king. Quick and simple, and then we ride back. We can do all this. It will be tough, but we can do it. The time is there.
If we know the king is there, the pirates likely do too, and if they see us heading there, they'll know what our plan is.
So we ride back towards Waterdeep, circle around. If they chase us, they chase us. They're pirates. They're not horsemen.
No.
I think that's
I'm
a
just
pretty solid
stating
point.
it as a fact.
Certainly.
Best way to get some contact, though.
What?
That we know of.
What's that?
Best way to get in contact with the king that we know of.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, we know where he's at. We don't want the captain to know we're meeting with him, right? So, fuck it. I mean, like I said, the time's there. What do we want to do with it? It's a tight window, but it's there.
Yeah.
That's also assuming everything goes right, that he's actually there, that he'll actually hear us.
Sure.
What are we going to tell the captain? That we're going to talk to him? He may send guards after us if we leave the city.
Okay, I mean, I get it. That's all
I'm
very.
just
Those
not a
are
character,
no.
like,
These are good points, but
things Tux would be mentioned.
well then, no, that's fine. I get that, and those are actually they're very appreciated. Then what's the answer? You know, I'm just trying to get us. I'm just trying to get us there.
I don't know.
Does anybody have any better ideas?
Like,
I mean, the thing is, we all want to go to the king.
Right.
It seems like most of us do.
Does anybody have any objections of going to the king?
Yeah. Is anybody gonna fight for another?
Yeah. Does anybody have another idea or something else they'd prefer to do?
No. But when I mentioned that, I mentioned it as like what my character would say. Just,
No, I get that. Totally.
Yep.
And
Tux is the same way. He's not saying not to do it. He's just
right.
stating risk.
And I'm not saying. And I'm not saying you.
Risk.
I'm not saying.
Risk.
I'm not saying you guys are wrong either. But
Yes.
we can't just do nothing. Like that's lame as fuck.
Now, do we all have to come back and meet the captain?
You know.
The team?
I mean, we wouldn't have to. What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that let's just go anyway to the king, and if for some reason he can't see us right away, I don't know, one of us or two of us ride back to meet the captain while the other ones try to meet the king.
I mean, it's not a bad contingency plan.
Should we perhaps set up a meet with the pirates in Daggerford
I don't
the
think.
next day?
I don't think that's a good idea at all. We should. I don't think they need to be anywhere near this meeting.
Well,
But tell me what. And that was kind of rude to just shoot you down like that. But what would be the benefits of that?
Kind of being able to give them to the king as these are the people who attacked your city.
Oh, so you want to set them up?
Yeah, set them up.
It's interesting,
Possibly.
but
Like we have them here in your city. We can take them in. Their captain is going to be at this inn at this time.
Give
me the right people.
Playing devil's advocate. We don't know their numbers, and we
don't.
We don't know the numbers in Daggerford.
No, but if Daggerford's not in a state of emergency, we can convince him to meet us down there at a pub that's neutral. Except we're going to have contact.
And so you maybe want to just take the head off the snake kind of thing?
Yeah, have him down there. We can go talk to the king. We got the king in Daggerford. Once we're done talking to him, we can be like, oh, by the way, we got him here.
Okay. I mean, I don't hate that. Does anybody have any objections to that? Here's what I will ask. One, what do we tell this
because we know he's not the head of the snake. We know he's a more minor player, but it takes out or at least gets into custody the guy who was the right hand to the main guy starting the Thieves Guild. We just have a dossier on him. We've not met him yet.
Right. So I'm going back on my notes. Captain Riggs works for Jack Hand.
Yep.
Okay.
Jack Hand.
Okay. I need to amend my note. I think that's fine. What do we tell the dude as to not arrive? I mean, because you would assume the pirates know that the king's there.
Set up a meeting in. We aren't able to get you in Waterdeep because of the increased security, but we can meet with you in Daggerford. We're on our way there. We'll meet tomorrow.
So just play the excuse of the heat is lesser down there. I mean that sounds great to me. And maybe make sure to tell them that we're only going to deal with Riggs. I mean,
Yes.
just to try and ensure that he's there.
Mhm.
I dig
If
it.
he's got a handful of men, we can surround the building.
Anybody have any objections, concerns, or maybe additions or better ideas?
No.
I'm feeling confident that I'm ready to see the king.
I'm in. All right, Austin, did you get all that?
Alright.
Sure.
While I'm in the library, I'm gonna find a map of Daggerford and pick an inn.
What the fuck? Is your sex toy going off?
And we're gonna write that down.
I swear, it's not mine, baby. Austin, also, I don't know if you've been clicking around, but that fucking interactive map is fucking awesome. There's so much other shit you can, like, if you click the 3 lines. There's more maps than just Waterdeep. John, you should look at that shit too. I put it in the Google
shit.
chat. Like, there's one for the Forgotten Realms, and not everything has a description, but some of them do.
I mean, even just telling me that something's there is huge a lot of times.
Right, a lot of the shit's on the map already, like Marsh of Chellenber, and when you click it, it just says Marsh of Chellenber. But anyway,
Well, I like your map, Austin. I also like this one because it's the kind of geographical one with dots.
you can use all of them in conjunction together. But anyway,
Oh yeah, for sure.
let's
No. I'm not
If you click
dogging
on the
it.
Forgotten Realms map,
This one's hexed out.
it has the whole thing.
yeah, I know. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I was telling you before.
Population 1,200.
Yeah. So let's procure horses. I know we're not gonna. Does anybody? Do you guys? Is everybody at full health and spell slots? Spellcasters.
Full health.
I don't have
I
spells.
think I'm good.
I think I'm good.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I mean we're not gonna have time for a long rest, but we can knock out a short one after we get these horses, and then I say we ride to the meat spot, which is the name of this male strip club I'm opening.
Varys has 3 spell slots left, but other than that, he's okay.
Is that from the same day?
Yeah. He's got 2 seconds and a first. He's spent 3 first levels last time.
That's still pretty good. Okay,
But I think that's in the last 2, even.
that's cool.
Because we used when Scotty wasn't here.
What is that? Oh, fuck. Oh my god. Okay, we'll talk about this later. Because I just keep finding cool shit with this map. Anyway, so, Austin, can we go get horses?
I mean, yeah, you guys would be able to go and requisition some horses. No problem.
What's everybody naming their horse? Mine's Jumpy Pete.
Go faster, horse.
You're naming it Horse Go Faster Horse?
No, its name is Horse. I want it to go faster.
Oh, very well.
Its name once again.
Very well.
It's like cheering it on.
Interesting. Okay. So do we want to just fast forward to the meet? Anybody?
We're supposed to
Yeah.
meet up with some shit along the way.
I'm-
Austin.
Let me roll a die. So yeah, that's what we're that's
You are attacked by a swarm of goats. Flying goats that breathe fire.
as long as they're not shadows.
Be an owl bear. Smash them.
I just learned that the city of the dead is just basically a big graveyard. That's cool. It's not like a zombie land. I don't know things.
Underneath, in the crypts, is filled with zombies.
All right.
Underneath, yeah.
Well, fuck it. Let's go to the meetup.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Alice, you're gonna fall off the fucking chair. Calm down, would you? Jesus, I know you're trying to get comfy, but you're gonna scratch the shit out of me and fucking be an amputee before my kid gets even here.
You had it coming.
You know what? Fuck you. All right.
Fuck you and the cat you wrote in on.
This cat is laying on me, and he keeps like trying to get more comfy and gets more on his side and more on his side. And he's gonna fall off, and then he's gonna try to hold on to me as he's falling off. And I'm gonna get a fucking kiss.
Austin's gonna be the only guy who wears a protective cup while playing Dungeons and Dragons.
That's what you get for having a cat.
Right. Boz keeps his pussy in line. He doesn't have any issues.
Off to the side.
In the kitchen. That's where their litter box and shit is.
No.
All right. All right, so it's what time specifically?
Game time.
Well, the meet was at 8, right?
The
You
meeting
just said it
was
was about noon.
an hour after sunset.
Okay.
What noon?
Okay,
You
so
guys spend the day at the library looking up more information. You don't find anything. You eventually eat and change and maybe go by someplace and get, new ropes or whatever. I don't know.
we got horses.
You got your horses. So, what time would you want to try? And you guys obviously wouldn't have any problem leaving the city. You guys got Tux and you got the paperwork, so you guys could just come in and out.
So
What time are you guys planning on leaving through the South City?
Let's plan it. Let's say it more as, what time do we want to get there? Do we want to be on time? Do we want to be a bit late, like fashionably?
I'd say on time.
I said we want to be on time because we need to get to Daggerfall.
It's fine by me.
Yeah. On time seems like a better chance to be seen by the king.
The earlier we get there, we can.
It's a good
meet
point.
the king before we meet with them.
The earlier we get this shit done, the quicker we can be on our way. I like
Set their
that.
meeting for tomorrow evening at like 10 p.m. peak bar hour.
Well, hang on.
It's a Thursday, so maybe 9.
Well, are we... Austin, you said it's a day's ride there?
Day and a half.
Fuck.
Day and a half to get there, day and a half to get back. And that's if you're changing horses at the place.
Yeah, we're not gonna be able to get back in time.
Well, fuck. See, I was under a different impression. Again. I mean, fuck it. Wait, the captain can wait, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, if we want to work with the king, we want to work with the king.
Right.
That's what we're choosing.
I would say it's about 3 days for you guys just to huff it and walk down there. It's a day and a half if you ride your horses down there.
Okay. Well, yeah, that'll be our fallback. If the captain's got to wait, captain's got to wait. So, yeah, I'm into it.
Austin's the one that put him 2 days away. He's got to deal with him.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so that's what, yeah. Okay, so yeah, we'll arrive right on time. So whatever time we got to leave through the gate to do so. It doesn't look like it's that fucking far away.
Cool. So you guys leave through the gate. What order are you guys leaving through the gate?
4 abreast. Well, Tux would probably be in the lead because he's got the credentials.
All right. Yeah, what?
Yeah.
You're going up here, dude. All right.
And the rest of us can be his heavies. Even though he's the literal heavy.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys are. I don't know why I just did all that, but it's good to know.
Me either.
But, so you guys leave about what 7:15, 7:20. You guys get down. Didn't you guys say that you wanted to chill like right here for?
No, I think that square was me drawing on there as another possible meeting spot. So just ignore that teal thing. We're just going to the red dot.
All right. We'll say that you guys get there. I don't know, 7:55, right? 5 minutes in.
Cool. Works for me.
And you don't see anyone there yet.
I say we give him, what, 10 minutes? 15? We can't give him too long.
Yeah, 10.
Yeah.
10, and I say during that 10, Tux is gonna patrol the area around. He's gonna like take or I'd say we should patrol as a group. Maybe we should walk around this little forested area and then loop back. Just make sure no one's lurking in the trees. If he's late, then we'll be late.
Fair enough.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, really, we don't have. I mean, if we're totally cool with, because we're gonna
do one loop and then.
I think. Well, I was gonna go a different way with it, but if it sounds like we're all kind of on board. Where if we're late to meet the captain, we're late to meet the captain. BFD, right? So, yeah, I mean. There's really not that big a time crunch to get to Daggerford with that being... I mean, I think we should do it as quick as we can, but, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I said there's a difference between the captain waiting a couple of hours or a couple of days.
Right.
Yeah, there's no real time crunch to get to Daggerford. Then we can wait here. But I say we loop through these woods and wait for them to show up. Keep walking around like we're not going to sneak up on them, but we're not going to be waiting sitting ducks for them.
That's fine.
Keeping an eye out, being perceptive at all times.
For sure.
How long until something happens, also?
Very soon, as soon as I get this out.
Very soon.
That makes it feel like we're getting attacked.
I don't know why you'd say that, John. My feelings are a little hurt.
I mean, all the surprise is gone.
I mean, you can feel whatever you want. It's gonna happen for sure.
Oh, I'm down to kill some shit. Don't get me wrong.
I feel like you guys
Like, well, some kind of water demon? What?
are able to see through my shit way too fucking easily.
Well, you're playing D&D, so there's always some sort of suspicion going on. Dude, remember who the fuck? I didn't trust somebody.
You don't throw curveballs. You stick straight to your story. So it's
my
obvious.
suspicion goes up when I see a taco emoji.
That too.
I don't have.
Like if this was a fight with a random manticore that lived in these woods, that would be out of the box.
You know what, John? That's a very good point.
And you could still do the meeting and not have to worry about any of that.
D&D 5e Manta.
That's a CR5, but I think we can take it.
Google Manticore Onward, and then just use that one.
Nice.
All right.
I gotta get new tunes.
You guys are waiting right here by the outlet. That's where you guys are.
Okie dokie.
You don't see anything or hear anything for a while. And then you hear something coming from the south.
Hey guys, I hear something coming from the south.
Boz, you're gonna be over here, and everyone else is gonna be over
Cool. To the south. That makes sense.
Tux would be walking up.
Boz is the dumb white chick in the horror movie that hears the noise and goes upstairs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a shower.
But I'm gonna fuck first.
No, she just masturbated in the shower. She didn't have to fuck.
Using Austin's vibrator.
I don't know if you'd want to use this vibrator for that.
I'm sure there's waterproof ones, water resistant ones.
So you guys all see a lady starting to walk towards you. Those of you who have
Ooh, a lady.
Shooter.
those of you who have
Shooter.
right?
I'm the only one without dark vision, so I'm gonna stay in the middle of everybody.
But you don't really see much, but you do see a lady walking up. She has on a robe. And like in every sci-fi movie or fantasy movie of anybody important is always wearing a hood at first, right?
Probably carrying quantum physics books too.
Sure.
Those of you with dark vision or night vision, give me a perception check.
Not me.
You got 120 feet of that shit.
21.
I remember my head better.
16. You are a half elf.
You got it.
No, he's a high elf, so he definitely has it.
Yeah.
'Cause I think half elves have it.
Half and high have it. You have it. It's right under your passive stats. It says dark vision 60 feet.
My passive stat.
Yeah, the box under your saving throws box. So you can just make your you're good to make a perception check here.
Yeah, I see it there. Okay.
Thanks, Adam.
Don't worry, I got you guys. 21.
All right, yes, with a 21, Boz.
Still got a 16.
So she's wearing like a hood, but it's not like it's covering half her face. You can see her whole face as she starts walking closer. And Boz, you recognize her.
Oh, who do I recognize her as?
Boz.
I thought you said
anyone
that right?
anyone who got over a 15 on their perception check.
So
Just
John got a 16, I thought.
I got a 16.
Oh yeah, berries.
No.
You can't. You don't see. With the
Yeah,
You just see a
I heard
very
the wrong.
lady. Possibly because you were looking more at the codexes and not at the woman in the drawing.
Okay.
Whereas Hunter and Tux were both looking at all the royal papers and were probably looking at her. Adam, oh, you don't. Well, you don't have. It's too dark for you to see because it's.
That's
after-
correct.
That's dark. So she walks up, and John and Boz, you both recognize her as the woman from the drawing.
Oh shit.
You don't know her name. You know that she signed it Duchess something. What did I say she signed it as?
You just said the Duchess.
You just said she was a duchess.
The Duchess. That's how she
Yeah.
signed it.
She's Sterling Arch. It's a Mallory Archer's dog.
nice.
Duchess?
Yes, she walks up to you guys.
Of course.
Tilts his head and says with a question mark at the end.
So you have seen it. You have seen me. I am Lady Verlana of the house. I don't have a house. Of the house of Royal Lane. I am the king's older sister and
She's
rightful
by herself,
queen.
so it's solo.
Hey, Austin, spell her name.
Hold on a second. I have to mute all of you. Oh, there it is. I pinned Bob. Lady Verana. of the House of Dorlomain, Queen of the Islands, and of the Sword Coasts of the Sword Coast realm. And she says, I am your queen, and you are my rightful subject.
With Tux's knowledge of history, or would you need a history check? Would he know that to be a possibly lawful statement?
Yes, it would be. If she was the queen's, if she was the king's older sister, and she did not, what is it, defer the throne? What is it? There's a term for it. She didn't reject the throne. If she hadn't died when she was at sea, she would have been the first in line.
So people thought she died at sea.
Correct.
Okay.
But I could also be killed
And
for saying this, and you would be killed if you heard it. I wanted you to know who you were talking to, and who you were talking to. My subject, the man you know as Captain Riggs. He is here to try and get back. Well, try and get it back, which I assume you either have or have stashed somewhere. It's a long story. One I am not entirely proud of. But the king is trying to kill me, and if he knew I was here, he would probably... I don't like to think. You are not just talking to some pirate working for his own means. He is my vassal, and I am here to tell you and to ask for your help. Will you listen to me? Will you come aboard the ship?
thoroughly confused, so no.
Two things. One, insight check.
Yeah.
And two,
Agreed.
Austin, did you just misspeak earlier when you said the thing that had been expunged? You said younger sister, so it was an older sister.
Correct.
Okay. Cool.
So-
She's the rightful heir.
Right.
His older sister has been sending love letters and naked pictures to him.
Yeah, that is a bit odd.
That would be
Yeah.
And he wants to kill her.
what she said.
But does she know that the Duchess is his older sister?
These are all excellent. These are all very good questions and very
And
good line.
I'm so confused.
I got a question too. Were the pictures addressed
Too much?
to the king?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
they weren't? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure that he didn't intercept them and then he just killed them.
It was never opened. We're the first to see them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well, you as a person, you guys have a master
Oh,
like codebreaker thief. I mean, it's possible it was
24 on the insight check, by the way.
Anyone who got
'Cause I
above
have
a 15
advantage.
on the insight check would know that what she is saying is what she believes to be true.
okie dokie.
What he believes to be true.
Yep.
I mean, what else is there?
I mean, yeah.
The truth.
Yes, she's.
I believe. Hey John, do insight checks tell you if a person is under some sort of control, or am I thinking Pathfinder?
No, inside checks. Unless there's a spell on her that says if someone succeeds on a DC X insight check, then no. But
Okay.
if Austin has a spell on her that she's under, he would need to know that information.
No, that's fine. I like I said, I think I'm
He
confusing
He
that.
would just make that shit off the top of his head, so he needs to write something down now.
No, it's all good.
He crushed that DC, so he needs to tell me.
I just like I said, I wanted to double check to see if that was something we would garner, but
That would specifically be linked to any spell with under. Kind of like disguise self.
Yeah.
If someone does a DC whatever insight check, but that doesn't mean they would know to do that.
I mean, even with Hunter's
If
18,
the DC beats their passive insight, they would have to have an inkling to make a check.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to make sure, like, because, like you said, and Austin's well within his rights to say she's telling you what she believes to be true, because, like he said, what else is there? So
I'm not gonna say, oh, this is the absolute truth.
Sure.
You guys can trust me.
Yeah, well, sometimes. No, that's totally cool. You played that perfectly.
I we would be able to believe she's under any type of charm spell, unless the charm spell specifically says she acts weird.
Charm person doesn't say anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
some of them have him incapacitated and stared in a wall, so
right,
that would not be what's going on here.
Right. So I didn't pass shit. So
Tux is
He
not
looks
sure.
at you guys and says, I can see you have curious. I can see by your faces that you doubt or have questions. I know the stories that the kings have told. That the king has told.
Regardless of stories, going on a ship with you and your men is dangerous. Puts us at risk, makes us vulnerable. We're not willing to meet there. Unless you would say different, and he would look at his companions.
As long as I am on land, I am at risk. Because I can be killed just for being here. I wanted you to see me.
We would be at great risk on your ship.
Well, I mean, a little risk, but it's not like you guys are. I mean, I'm myself alone. Come, we have a small ship, only 4 or 5 men. They would not be much risk to you.
I'm gonna straight up ask her and be like, if everything you're saying is true, you should have no fear going straight up and reclaiming your throne. Why have you not done so?
You must be new to this. It does not. The truth does not matter as much as what people believe, and the power that gives.
So what?
Here, no one knows that I exist yet. Everyone thinks I'm dead.
Yes, I read about your untimely death, and she does the air quotes thing.
Yeah, my brother sold me to the islands as his, like I was his. I belonged to him, and said, "This is your husband now. You must go here and spy for me."
So what you're saying is you have no way to prove your story is true.
There are people in the throne who know me. There are people in the court who know me when I was younger. I have ways of proving these things, but if I come on land, I die. I am here because the king is using my old letters to him, which I am sure you read, to say that if I ever say anything, that he would kill me, but 2, he'll also release these, which make me, maybe you haven't. You have all your questions are valid, but I must go. Is there someplace else?
What we saw is the carnage you unleashed on Waterdeep. We do not know that you are even good for it.
Well, that is true, I suppose.
The problem I am having, my lady, is that you say there are people who are aware of you. If the king is afraid of if the king is threatening to release them, there must be some sort of weight that they hold. If you cannot get them to the people who can validate your story, I'm having a tough time believing you myself.
Well, that is fine. I simply wanted you to see me and know who you are dealing with, not just a captain or a pirate.
If you were so worried about people on land knowing about you and worried about your safety, why would you risk that and send letters to the king?
Those letters are quite old, my friend. I know you flatter me to think that I look the same as those pictures as I do now.
Well, it is dark.
My uh, she looks around like you can tell she's getting a little scared. She's looking around a lot. She's holding her robes in a little bit, and she pulls it down a little bit, and uh she looks scared. And yes, the king and I have been in love since we were. He's been the first person I ever loved. He married, and when he married, we both said that we would try and find others because we knew it was wrong. And then when his wife died, he changed. He became a different person. He became cruel and mean, twisting my words and twisting others' words against them, making others. Before he ruled with respect and love, and now he only rules in fear. And he has his captains, and she spits out the word, ruining his name, always keeping everyone under his thumb, making them think whatever he wants them to think. He took advantage of the zombie war. He took advantage of the zombie base and consolidated all the power. But I was married off to the islands. But what he didn't know is that he married me to a man who also had claim to the throne of those islands. And we took back his throne and the gold mine. And we stopped giving him gold and we stopped giving him tribute. And he could do nothing about it. And then he started to threaten war on my island. He started making up claims and making up stories. And he started making alliances against us. So I have come here to confront him. I know if I can speak to him, I can try and stop this war on these people that I've come to love, the family that he sold me to.
What proof do you have to hold these claims true?
I don't necessarily to prove to you. It's really to the people and to the court, to the others who really hold the power. The other duchesses, the lords, and the ladies.
Well, you ask us to trust you based on blind faith, and you gave us nothing to trust you with, but stories.
Well, what else is there in life but stories? I can't
Money.
I'm not going to make.
That was awesome, Scott.
What do you say?
He said money.
Money.
Varys about them ducats, son. I have a question. So, based on everything you said, it seems that your brother no longer loves you as he once did. Is my understanding that correctly?
I don't know if my brother can love anyone anymore. He was broken when his wife died, and his child.
I don't know, he seemed pretty broken once he started loving you.
Well, that's inappropriate.
If he
So,
if he does love you and he rules with an iron fist, there's no reason that he should be worried about how he is viewed being wed to his sister. It's not for me, but what I'm saying is true.
Well, that's why he was. We had plans to try and marry. We had plans of. We had all sorts of plans, but nothing ever came up. Nothing ever. He fell in love, and then he changed for the better, and then she died, and she looks down, and she looks sad, and she says, and he changed again. I don't even know him anymore, but he started making these threats against me, and he's sending these letters to my people and everywhere else, and he's using them against me. When we were young, we were told that we were the king and queens of the lands. We were told that we could have anything and do anything, and we fell in love, and we did not question it. I always felt it was wrong, but my heart wanted what my heart wanted. I don't know if he loved me the same, but he made me think I did. I must leave you now. You may come with me, or we can meet somewhere else.
Okay, group huddle.
We can help you take your throat.
What did that guy?
Well, What do you ask? Do you want us to help you take the throne?
Well, that would be great. For now, I'm asking for the papers that you have. The king cannot use them against me any longer. So I can put that chapter of my life behind me.
Okay.
I have gold, and if that's the price for your honor, then I shall pay it.
Just
She's
to...
worried about letters when she needs to speak to him.
This is true.
What did you say, John?
She is worried about letters when she needs to be speaking with her brother. She wants to put off the inevitable. I don't believe we should enable her by giving her what she wants.
What if I made myself like an illusion as her and went to the king, ended, and see how he would react?
Well, are you saying this aloud? Like, what are you guys saying aloud?
Yeah. I mean, if you said that aloud, Annette would say, my dear Varys, I have seen your skills of disguise, and while they are admirable, if what this woman is saying is true, I imagine he would have you killed on sight. And there would be very little the three of us could do to help you.
Yes, he probably would. And if I went and spoke to him and tried to confront him, he would tell the captain here to release the papers to the people who could hurt me the most.
Okay.
In the most cruel way possible.
Okay. My lady, I know that you are in a hurry. If you need to go immediately, just tell us how to find your boat. We need to have a bit of a group meet here. We have things to discuss.
Well, my intention is to leave tonight and to go see the king, and to go to the king. Well, not to the king, but to the people near him.
Are you not worried about being murdered?
I've been worried about being murdered for a long time. I'm getting a little used to it. I just left everyone back on the ship so that you could see me and talk to me alone.
Then what?
I at least trust you without you having to pay me or prove to me that you are not men who kill a woman just because you can.
If you seem to be at your wit's end, why now do you decide to put your life at risk?
She looks down on her belly and sort of holds it and says, because my life is also changing, and I want to change the world for the better if I still can.
If it is not too forward, who is the father of that child?
These are exactly the kinds of questions my husband and I don't want to have to deal with. It is not the king, if that's your question.
That is basically what I was asking. Good enough. Okay, so do we want to team huddle real quick, because we gotta fucking make a decision here.
I say.
Yeah, let's just do this out of character, and we'll just fucking pretend like it's quick. It's quicker that way.
I got an idea, and tell me what everybody thinks of it. We pitch to her that we'll give her the letters in exchange for someone to pin the attack on, i.e., give us Captain Riggs to turn in.
Well, okay. Riggs works with her.
Yes.
So why would she do that? I mean,
she wants.
I mean, I guess you can't really tie Riggs to her.
Do you want them? This is her life.
Okay.
What did he do? Did he just throw something at the camera?
I don't
Am I
know.
that ugly, Austin?
I don't want you to see my face and meta everything that I'm thinking right
I'm not looking at you. Don't worry about it. Yeah, but look at how his chin looks. That's telling me something.
Telling when.
No.
Hey, I can see in the dark.
I don't want you listening in.
You know what?
We get to see your facials. Fuck you.
You know what's really good about all of that?
That's in our planning.
You know what's really good about all that is he did all that, and there's just a button that he could click to turn the camera off.
there is.
Anyway,
100%.
okay, so John, I don't hate that thing about tying it to rigs.
Give us someone we can pin it on.
We
We want rigs unless you got somebody better.
Okay, what is your motivation for wanting to finger rigs for this?
He ordered the attack.
I'll leave
Well,
that
he
one alone.
said or someone better. It doesn't tell
Well-
you who.
Well, no,
Yeah.
no, I under.
It does not matter who. It's
But
simply
if we're going back,
because
if we're
we know
going,
him.
if we're going back that far, that attack was to provide a distraction so we could get this shit.
yes,
So
she's not gonna give herself up.
I get that. I don't think. No, obviously not.
We may or may not work with her in the future. For
I
now,
mean, to put a point on it, you guys have
We
already
get-
been hired by her to do this shit.
Yeah,
We
yeah. I don't. Riggs
yeah.
is a nobody in my opinion. He's not pulling
we
any
get
shit.
Riggs. We turn him over to the captain, so we get in his good graces, and we stay in her good graces, and we see where we need to fit in.
I don't see how that
I don't know
gets.
if I trust her.
I don't trust her as far as I can throw her.
Yeah.
But also, I had somewhere I was going with that. I don't think turning in rigs helps us figure out anything. Now, granted, stuff can unveil in the future. Sure.
So if we turn in rigs, if we go right now, we turn in rigs. We got to come up with a story, but we got somebody who can do that. Make something up. And if not, he's got spells to back himself up. We go turn him in.
Uh huh.
And we get the captain to believe us that it's all on him. We now are in the captain's good graces. We've gotten that whole case solved with somebody that planned it. And we then decide what we want to do with her.
All right, not to put too fine a point on it, but this.
We don't have to do that. What do you guys
So
got?
far, you guys are fine talking and stuff, but I just want to give you a sense of urgency as you guys are going over these options.
I told her if she needs to go, then to tell us how to get back to
Yeah.
her ship if we want to go there. If not, we'll fuck off and go back wherever we want.
Still
Yeah.
staying there, but I'm just trying to tell it, like, because she's asking you guys what you want to do.
Right.
We want her to go away so we can talk. That's what we already said.
Yeah.
Go the fuck away so we can talk.
Standing you're here, but I mean, she's waiting for an answer.
She's the one with the urgency, not us.
We told her we don't know. We
Right.
gotta think.
That's
We'll tell you when we're ready.
yeah.
That's fine.
We're the one. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we're the one with the balls in our court.
I thought she left, Austin. To be honest, we were talking about the plan.
No,
thought
she
she
didn't
left.
she didn't overhear anything.
Yeah.
You would have asked her for some privacy.
Yeah.
and She gave you guys privacy.
She could be waiting out in the water for a couple hours. This may be a while. Not that we're gonna talk.
We're not gonna talk for hours. We're gonna talk for maybe 10
But-
minutes.
It may take them a while to figure this shit out.
So, okay.
Okay, now that we've talked about rigs, what are the pros and cons of us going on the boat with her?
We don't know what we're walking into.
Yeah,
That would
that's
be
fine.
that would be the biggest con. The pro is we might find out more information.
It's unpredictable, and we're out in the middle of the ocean at that
Right.
point. We have nowhere we can run to.
No, I agree with all this. I just want to make sure we discuss it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scotty, any ideas?
I'm kind of like I really want to. I still want to meet this king. I think there's something to come out of it. I don't know how I feel about just roaming off with so-called sister.
Yeah. I don't trust either of them, to be honest with you.
I don't know that I want to work with any of these three.
Yeah, they're all shit people.
Yeah.
But okay, so let's look at it this way. Let's just pretend her claims are true. Working with her is the best thing for us. if we can get that to, like, if we can get her to take back her throne. Agreed?
It could be, yes.
But fuck, now we're back at a point where we don't know enough. Like, we had a bunch of shit we learned at the library, and now we're fucking back at a part where we don't know enough.
Yeah, we don't know anything about her husband either.
He's Khal Drogo. No. But fuck, I don't know. I'm so bad at this shit.
I'll tell you, I have no plans to, like, I don't know what you guys are gonna do either at this point.
No, that's good.
Like,
I don't.
How about this? Do you want to go still meet with the king and come back and tell her to come back here at this point in like 2 days?
I feel I don't hate that either, but what I am worried about is if we go to the king and we tell him we have this stuff, I don't think we're leaving there with it. Agreed? And then he'll burn it all, and her claims will be unsupported.
Yeah. We either choose to give it to the king or not. And the premise of even being able to get the king to speak to us is that we have it.
And I would say that just baseline tests
could get us executed baseline what I've heard explained about the king recently.
What we have right now, I don't trust anybody. But she seems more innocent, less prone to killing us if we work with her or betray.
What are we basing our judgments off of?
Interactions and stories, which have come from her.
We've not interacted with the king.
You've already been on Captain Briggs' boat, and he didn't try and kill you. He gave you money to go do a thing.
Yeah, we've also seen his
our judgment on this is purely based on that she's a woman.
It's all speculation. Yeah. Sure.
I'll believe it too.
Here's something. She was killed at sea, air quotes, / married off, and her name was expunged from records. So I would say that gives her a little bit of a leg up versus the king as far as being a good person. It doesn't like boost her up, but it certainly lowers him down.
But we don't know the reason why.
You're right. I mean, the reason why is to have the power. If she's there, he's not in charge. I would think. It could be as simple as that.
Well, her father had her married off, right?
No. Then her brother married her off.
He told you her brother did.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I was confused on that.
I was saying, like, in doing so, they could have been like a vote of no confidence.
I mean, it could have. It was. I mean, the way I'm reading the whole situation is this was all set up by him. He sends her off on a boat over to these islands, marries her off, comes back telling everybody she died at sea. That's shady, right?
You guys would also just to. Maybe I didn't emphasize it, but she did seem like if you guys had done when she was talking about the letter and stuff, she seemed pretty shameful. She felt like right, you know.
Right. I mean? No, that's fair. I gathered that.
Every time you guys brought it up, or
any of it. I mean, if nothing else, she's sad about how things went. Is more what I gathered.
She doesn't have a kingdom. I'd be sad too.
Well, she does have a kingdom.
She had, that's why I'm
she's
like,
supposed to have.
Sure.
I'm so like, don't give a fuck about her. Like, she's already got a kingdom and she wants another one. She's a fucking whiny little bratty bitch.
I mean, she wants to go home, dude. Like, that's what I'm getting. Is that she wants to go home.
No one. If you had family there, maybe. But.
Maybe you missed the part where she said that the king was plotting with others to attack the islands. Dude.
Yeah, I mean, they waged war.
And, bro, you know, this attack against this other thing could be part of that war that you don't know about.
Yeah,
or
that's true.
she could also be a fucking plant for the king.
Okay.
Like, no, I mean,
Well, let's think about this from another angle. They set up a fairly devastating attack. Why not just keep going? Like, I mean, if you can hit them again, why not just hit them again? I mean, maybe it's a problem of resources and manpower, but like, they did a pretty good job. Like,
Because she
I
wanted
don't-
to make a statement but not destroy the city she loves.
I'm not liking the
True.
sounds of anybody here.
no, I'm not either, and that's the like. It's a good thing because it's interesting, but it's also a bad thing because it's tough to pick a direction and go with it. What we need to really what we need to do, make our best guess, go and deal with the consequences.
Yeah.
That's really what D&D is, right? At the end of the day.
See the king.
Okay, let's
Tell her
take a
about-
vote. Who do we want to work with?
What were you saying, Scotty?
I was saying, what if we did meet up with the king and we told him that his sister is about?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like,
I don't know.
I mean, here's my thought. At the very least, we take this meeting on the boat.
I was gonna say, if we get in the boat, doesn't mean we have to leave the dock.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean,
If we get on the boat, we're not leaving with the stuff that we have on us. There's no way in hell they let us leave with the information that we have on us.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
That if we get on the boat, that's
We said
giving
this-
them that information. We don't have that to give to the king.
if it's a very if
we also
it's
said the same thing towards the king. But
Right.
If the problem with that is it's 4 men, according to her,
Right.
compared to whoever the hell is with him.
and if we approach the boat, we can see how big the boat is. If it's a big ass boat and she was lying, we don't get on it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that's fair.
why not? Why? I mean, if this boat is docked, let's have the meeting on the damn shore. Stash her in the boat. Fucking send your boys out. Come talk to us. Like, I think our best, at least our next best option is to see what's up at this boat.
See, I was thinking we have our 3 options. We take a vote. We go in that direction.
The 3 options being her, king, or what? What's the third option? Turning
It seems like
Captain Islandi or Riggs?
Islandi.
And what's your proposal for that?
I don't know. Those are just and it seems like him and the king might be tied up. So really,
Yeah, I
we
would-
gotta decide between her and the king.
And I think, hopefully, listen up, Austin. If we go to the boat, I think one, we have a better chance if there's a fight. We have a better chance of surviving one in a boat with quote unquote 4 to 5 guys than we do going into a city run by the king.
Can I have a suggestion.
Sure.
Let's go to the boats, have the meeting outside the boat, and while we're outside discussing, distracting them, I can send the cat in on a reconnaissance mission.
Yeah, you could burn one of your wild shapes and send you could send something smaller,
that too.
like a spider or something. But yeah,
That too.
I like that.
To see
Yeah,
what's inside
that
the
sounds-
boat.
that sounds good.
Because if it's more people in there, we'll know. If it's not, or maybe they have something else, so some kind of
Right.
documentation knowing that
They're
noting
gonna
that they are
ask
who they
where
are.
you've gone. So
No. He can wild shape. You burn a wild shape and use a familiar. Remember?
Oh yes,
So
that's right.
So I like that. I say we tell her we're going with her, but we're not leaving the land. That's as best she's gonna get out of us. Like I said, the ball's kind of I obviously we don't have any political power, but we have some sort of power with this evidence. Agreed?
Agreed.
Yeah.
So we say we'll go to the boat and we'll get away. We'll if she's more comfortable there, but we're not getting on the boat. Anybody?
I think that's fair.
Huh?
Good safe decision.
I mean, I don't know. That's the best option I can see.
I'm just weighing the odds of when either we go to this queen or we go to the king. Who do we likely are able to survive with at the moment?
Right. Yeah, we might be playing. We might be thinking too long term when we don't have enough information in the short term.
Yeah.
I see so many outcomes. I do not know what to decide. I will go where the group goes.
Figure it out, Stephen Strange. Okay, Chateau. You don't seem too happy about it, but if everyone is in agreement, I think we take the meeting, but we take it on land. If she doesn't like it, she can shove off. Like in a boat sense, not like an up yours kind of sense. We tell her we will.
Or both.
Sure. We tell her we will go, but we stay on land.
And are we in agreement that while we're on land, we send in a familiar?
Yeah, because I don't. I mean, yeah.
Double check that you can do that because you might want to cast that before we go find her or go talk to
As
her.
an action.
Um,
So it's not like find familiar.
yeah, you cast it as an action, but verbal, somatic. So if she's anywhere nearby, she'll see him conjure up this familiar.
I mean, so do it now.
Yeah.
You make one and have this whatever it is. It hides in your robes, like a spider or something. I don't know.
I was thinking of a rat because rats get on ships all the time.
Sure. I mean,
While
yeah.
it's within 100 feet of you, you communicate telepathically. Additionally, as an action, you can see through its eyes and hear it until the start of your next turn, gaining the benefits of any special senses. During this time, you are deaf, blind, and blind with regard to your own senses.
That's okay.
So-
you guys do the
Yeah.
talking.
We'll be standing. Yeah, he's not much. He's not our mouthpiece anyway. So
Yep.
I like it. I say that's our
Yeah.
move.
I think that's good.
So there it is, Austin. That's what we're doing.
All right, so you guys walk down south. Like this little thing that I've drawn down here, where we're at.
Sure.
So this trail is now a river, and the river is the inlet. That is
Right.
called-
Right. I imagine we're like 50 yards or more from where we were originally talking to her.
Yeah. So you guys then come down and see her standing by the shore with the boat tied in there. You don't see anyone in the boat, and she turns around
Mm-hmm.
and sees you guys. Now, what I should have done is given you guys the mental image of in the Game of Thrones when Daenerys, when she starts giving off her title, the way she says
Yeah. Breaker of chains.
is the same way that she sort of introduced herself. Whether or not you guys believe it, everything else you guys have said is perfectly valid. But I just wanted you guys to have the mental picture that that's sort of how that's who I'm casting her.
Right.
as,
Hey,
is Daenerys.
in relation to that, when she was reading it off, I was writing down, but I missed her house.
The house of
Dormain. Is that what-
Dorlomain.
Dormain?
Dorlomain.
Dormain. I remember thinking it was a food dish.
It is not. It is from.
Well, I remember it sounded like a food dish.
So she looks up at you guys, and she's got some tears in her eyes, and she says, "So as I understand it, you want money." She pulls out a bag of money and throws it on the ground, and it looks like a pile of gold. 1,000 or 2,000 pieces of gold are on the ground in front of you. You have my letter. May I have it back, please? And like she's getting emotional, trying to cry a little bit.
At this point, it's not about money. It's about who should really be in charge. We have a very important decision to make.
Yes. So you don't want money? What do you want? You want
This seems like something
right?
more
I think
than
we're still trying to figure that out.
You can't make everything right in the world. I can't make anything in my past right. I can't remove the shame of my soul, but I can at least get rid of the reminders that I have and the things that people will use against me.
We could try to make your brother right. Maybe both kingdoms prosper.
Pause. Is it at this moment? Could my rat be going to the ship?
You are in a sort of like itty bitty trance.
Yeah.
looking at
Yeah.
her while they're all talking.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's
Your
going
rat-
on board.
Your rat scurries on board, and on here, you see. Oh shit! I just. Okay. 6 guys that I just put behind all of the shit as opposed to making them.
Awesome.
Yeah, so you see the 6 guys that you mentioned. They look like they're pretty like they're legit fighters, but that they are mostly been doing sailing stuff for the past while. One of them, there's 5 that are talking, and one that looks like he's in charge, and he's kind of sitting on the stairs with his eye just over the ship, looking at her with his hand on his sword, like he's watching. And one of them says, "What's Her Highness doing?" And he says, "She's still talking. She still has it. She doesn't need us yet." Okay.
He said she still has it.
Yeah, she's still talking. She's still
Okay.
in control.
Okay.
She still got it, basically.
Yeah, she's still together. Okay, I'm gonna.
One of the other ones says, "Do we have any food left?" Yeah, there's a bag of apples and some bread under there. You eat too much. I don't eat too much. I'm just always hungry. And then the sergeant says, "Will you guys shut up? She's talking, and you guys know better." And then they all shut up.
So if we can flash back to her,
Back to her.
Annette's gonna say, I understand that you have concerns that you have laid out. If they are true, they are valid. But you also have to understand the position we are in. Doing things with this information, whether it be to aid you or to aid your brother, could cost us our lives. And asking us to make such rash decisions without more information, more evidence, more validity, it's a fool's game. Surely you can understand that.
Yes, and I also understand that you've been hired to do things twice now, and you don't seem to be able to follow through on your own word. I'm not sure why I should trust you and why I shouldn't come after you just as much as I'm coming after the king. Because whether he has it or you has it doesn't seem to matter too much. Everyone just wants to decide my own fate for me.
I'm gonna... no, I'm not gonna do that. Trust me, I dig this, but I don't know what the fuck to do.
No one's deciding your fate. Your history is your history. To hide it is wrong.
There is
to
a
own your
time and
mistakes
place
and
for
learn
everything.
from them is right.
I'm not going to kill you simply for knowing. There are others in the court who know. This is not something that is entirely unheard of in our family and in other royal families. Yes, it is fucked up, but I can't. And I'm not trying to run from it. But
Maybe
whether you have it or he has it.
Maybe it's best
She's
when
crying.
you go to talk.
She's
When you
getting
go
more.
to talk to him, that neither of you have it.
Hold on. You say that you have said it twice now, that there are members of the court that know of you, they know you are alive, they know the situation. What has stopped you from contacting them?
They're just as much as bastards as anybody else. If they can get something for free, then they want it. If they can take my lands, then they have it. I lost my entire life and everything when I was sold away.
Fair enough. Now, a second question. Your people dealt a pretty devastating blow to the city. Why not just continue forward with the attack?
That attack was not meant to be that big. Pirates are still pirates, and our navy is not a match for the king's. But what we were able to do, we did, and we were not able to hold them back, and it just worked out better in your own favor, since that's what this was all for anyway.
I mean, my house burnt down, so it wasn't great for me, but, you know.
She looks at the gold on the ground and then looks back at you.
She does what?
She looks at the gold on the ground and then looks back at you.
I haven't taken that gold yet.
You've already taken some of the gold I've given you. What's the difference between that 400 I already gave you versus the versus the thousands on the ground?
You seem like a sentimental person. You can't replace everything in that house. You can replace the building, sure, but money doesn't fix everything.
No, it doesn't.
Fuck.
This gold is only if we give the information to you or destroy it. We have not done either of those. We do not deserve that gold yet.
That is why it still lays there.
Her neck and cheeks are getting a little rosy. She doesn't know what to do or say either.
Okay, I'm gonna throw this to Boz. At this point, like, you can drop out of that.
Yeah.
Would you ask her? I know this is a bit meta, but I just want you to have your options. Would you ask her about the guys on the boat? Or are you keeping that under your? Because I don't know that either.
Well, she said there was guys on the boat.
Right, but I mean, sure, that's fair. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to do anything with anything, because
I want the rat to look around a little bit more to see if he can find information on them.
this sounds like a small like skiff that you send out because the big boat can't get too close.
Correct.
So
Do they have crests of some kind of insignias on their clothes? Do they
Yeah,
have?
they all have the same crests of House Lorana that the others had, and they all have the same insignia. They are all wearing the same. They are wearing sailors' uniforms, but these ones look of a higher quality. These ones look. They have their weapons look a little bit more functional and less honor guardish as some of the other ones that you guys saw. And well, you're not really much of a fighter. I don't know how well you'd be able to assess their fighting skills.
yeah, I mean that's he could basically base it off what he's already fought, I would think. But yeah,
Yeah. So
are they more swole?
These guys definitely seem more killer functional as opposed to pretty functional, right?
Right.
And their stuff is meant for movement and like you can assess some of those things, but they are all sitting there. Two of them are pretty relaxed. Alice, come on, dude, you gotta work with me. You're gonna fall right off. Shit.
Just take the claws to the balls, man.
And really, over the sergeant looks a little tense. He looks like he could. It looks like he's trying to prime himself for a jump all the way like 20 feet over the water and everything to get close to her. It doesn't look like he likes her being out there alone.
So, can I OOC propose a Switzerland option?
Okay. Meaning?
What if we propose that we would like to stay out of this, let her and her brother solve this issue. We will keep the information. If they can reconcile, we will give them and let them do what they wish with it. Otherwise, whoever wins gets it.
Ooh. Okay, let me piggyback off of that.
Maybe we go to another city.
Let me piggyback off of that. What if there's some way to, and I don't know how we would do it. I mean, we have some stuff. What if we were to, like, leak this shit to the press? Now, granted, maybe the king has the power to squash that, but if we get this shit out there and people start learning that, like, hey, he's not the rightful heir and he's been, like his sister's alive, and then see what happens there. Now, granted, that's probably going to put a fucking target on our backs, but...
Put a target on hers, too, because she doesn't want that information out there.
I mean, if it leads to her getting her kingdom back,
I agree with that as a good tactic for that. I don't think she wants to go that route from what she's been saying.
sure.
I'm down for either.
Could we barter with her and offer some of the information as a sign of good faith?
Doubt.
I mean, we could try, but
We can try.
But the only reason she seems like it's on an all or nothing kind of thing. Austin, is that the sense we're getting from her?
You don't have a sense of that or anything else. You haven't asked her specifically. And I like to think that you guys are like huddled back doing that sort of like Hobbit huddle, and you guys are like,
Right. Fuck. I
If you have any
don't.
questions, please ask me them. This infernal whispering is driving me mad.
No. I don't know, guys. I don't know.
Uh,
Sky, what do you want to do?
I don't know. I kind of like shaking things up with this price idea, but also, I don't know. I think if we help her, we might be able to position ourselves in maybe along with her. Maybe we can also be a part of the kingdom.
That thought entered my mind earlier, and I don't hate that.
I'm mostly worried about us deciding the fate of all the people within Waterdeep.
I mean, are we doing?
Doesn't like that idea.
Aren't we doing that regardless of which way we go?
The entire kingdom, not just Waterdeep, and all of the different kingdoms around that have started to
I mean, even if we say fuck you, Lady Verona, like we're still doing that. That's still a decision.
No, but I'm saying if we decide to stay out of it and let her and her brother solve the issue on their own.
So you guys have put out some really good ideas.
I don't know what to do.
So you guys have put out some really good ideas. You have some really good options. Maybe try talking to the person in character with some of those options and seeing what happens. You guys, I mean, those are all really good ideas. You could just get back in character.
Okay.
I mean, you guys are just talking. What's the worst that's gonna happen? You're gonna tell her an idea?
The rat's gone.
Okay.
No, he stays there. But you.
You can come back.
He does not go away until he dies.
Okay.
Yeah. So, because you can go back in if you need to. But anyway, continue with what you're gonna say, boss.
Well, is she a lady or is she a queen already?
She introduced herself as Lady Verona.
Lady Verona, yeah, Lady Verona. But how much would it cost for our silence? And if we just do nothing?
She just threw 2,000 gold on the ground.
Right.
That's probably a pretty good example of how much you. Are you asking her?
Yeah, I'm asking her. I'm not even talking about money. What if we just backed off right now and not do anything?
What do you mean? What do you mean by silence? I don't understand.
I mean, we hang on to this information and don't say anything and just stay out of it.
So you just trust you. Trust you with my life.
From the
trust you with the life of everyone in my husband's kingdom and the family that has adopted me and everybody that I've ever known. Just trust you.
The same way you trust.
Why should I trust you when you won't trust me?
Back at you.
That.
Seriously, when you say that, she then kind of like, her gaze drops and she says, my father always said, to trust you have to give it. Well, I don't know.
If we stop you, what are the chances of us, maybe even just some of us, eventually being in your court, being appointed? Appointed.
If you prove to be trustworthy and help me, then yes, I would probably continue to rely on you. She stamps her foot a little bit, and like, I mean, she's an older woman now, but she looks for the entire world like a little girl who's been raised as a princess her whole life. She stamps her foot on the ground and she puts her arms in like this, and she says, I was never good at this. My brother Dietrich was always better than I was, which is why he has the throne and I don't. I don't have these minds for these games within games. I'm just trying to do what I think is right, and I'm trying to stop what I know is wrong. What? And then she looks at you guys and says, "What should I do? I don't know what to do any more than I can see the looks on your faces. I don't want
to talk to your brother and look for peace.
I think there's a lot to be gained.
What makes you think that you're strong enough right now as far as power and people to overthrow your brother?
I like that.
I don't. Not when he has every now and well. I guess I didn't, knowing that he doesn't have it, because this more, and then she looks back at her guards and her sergeant, kind of like absentmindedly, just to see if they're there, and then she kind of settles down just like a little bit, knowing that they're close. You can kind of get that feeling. I've been focused on this for a long time now, because I know that perception is more important than reality. And if this is how the people heard of me first, then this is all they would ever think of me.
I'm just saying there's safety in numbers, and we need. I would like to know that you have more people than just the 6 guys on your boat eating apples right now.
Nice.
She looks at you and gives you a smirk. Well, yes. Court, as I don't know if you've ever been, is quite complicated. There are many that would like to see the king fall, and there are some that think that they should replace him. Everybody wants everything they can get, and the king rules by fear and intimidation, as you can see, and he puts people in place who enjoy the fear and intimidation of others. She wasn't always like that, and she looks very sad. It's almost heartbreakingly sad. She's a very beautiful woman, and she looks like her heart was just broken in front of you.
Okay. I'll also ask one more thing. If we decide to join you, would you offer up a pardon? Because we've done a lot of stupid shit in order to get here.
Yes, if that was in my power, but I would need a pardon first for everything that I've done. I can't judge, and I wouldn't judge you. I wouldn't judge you any more than I would be judged myself for some of the things that I've done.
My lady, I have a question for you. Nothing you've said has given me great reassurances on this matter, but if hypothetically we were to give you everything we have, what's your plan for taking over? It doesn't seem like a few papers and a picture will have enough sway to get the job done. As you say, he rules over everything. What's the plan if you get these things?
She looks speechless, which looks as awkward on her as
it does on you right now.
Somebody who's used to speaking and talking and being listened to their entire life. And she says, no one ever asked me that.
If you don't have a good plan, if you have no plan, there's no point. We may as well burn these things right now. Take your gold and fuck off back to town. There's
no. She looks at you and she looks like she has a little glint in her eye. She looks like there's a spark in her eye which wasn't there before. You know, I've grown up as a princess here, and I may have been sold as cattle, but I was sold as royalty to another royal family. No one has spoken to me the way you four have before. No one has made me think the way you four have right now. I was so fixated on this, and no one second-guessed me. No one questioned my intentions. Everyone thought it was natural, and of course you would. But when you ask me these questions now, these questions seem to be obvious. It makes me wonder why no one else asked me before.
They all worked for you. They love you, probably. So, of course, they're going to be behind you, as they should be. But we hold no such loyalties, unfortunately. So, as you said, trust must be given to be earned. So, if you have no even a basis of a plan, this all seems to be pointless.
Well, the plan as I understood it, was to remove the mechanism, and she spits it out with a little shame and disgust that my brother held over me. And then it was to talk to some of the older families who still remembered and knew what he had done, and to see who could be on my who would be on my side. That's why I'm not trying to proclaim my claim to the throne to anything official or to anyone.
Let me stop you there. You have names of families that you feel like you might be able to trust in Waterdeep. Why not give those to us? Let us go in as free citizens with a bit of authority under the king. Let us talk to them for you. See if they see how they sit. Will they side with you in this journey? If they won't, then there's nothing to be gained. You trust us with this, and we promise to keep your evidence safe and secret. Perhaps only letting these names you give us see that there is evidence, and we will keep them to ourselves.
You can see wheels spinning in her head. She starts to look at you guys as like almost as if you were a gift or your food after she's been hungry. Like, you can see her entire face and her entire demeanor and expression just change. And she looks. You would, yes, that would be acceptable. I mean,
If you give us someone or a group of men to take in and finger them for this attack, we could gain more favor with the captain and be able to maybe sway more people to your side.
you
And
sound
work the town from the inside.
you sound smart. I think you would get along with my brother, or you would have. There was a time. He loved these kinds of games.
Was he
I've
also
read
a
many
robot?
military technical manuals.
No, he wasn't a robot. Thank you.
Too
Yes.
bad.
I can ask for a volunteer. Who did you have someone in mind, or does it can be somebody who we say it is? Who you say it is?
I do know the captain had a dossier on Captain Riggs, Captain Islandi, that is. So
So,
that
Tux,
would be someone they know of.
He put that slut as captain here, and then she kind of giggles and laughs a little bit. Of course he would.
so Tux, if I'm understanding you correctly, you would like to basically turn in whoever she deems necessary to turn in, and basically say that this person or persons acted on their own accord and not under the orders of her kingdom.
We may need a group. We plant them with a letter.
Everyone give me a perception check.
Cool.
Perception check.
Skeleton.
That's a 14.
For perception check, John. doesn't
24.
Dirty 20.
Nope, 13. I lied.
Scotty?
Scotty coming in hot.
Oh,
Oh, okay, yeah. So, Annette and Hunter, you guys see a hand gesture that the queen makes. She makes a few quick hand signals with her hands sort of behind her back. You can hear some mumbling in the ship, and then one of the guys who I inexplicably no longer have control over. Let me refresh it.
Probably on the wrong layer.
Yeah. And then the guy comes up and says, one of the guys comes up and he looks at the queen and takes a knee and does like a little thing and then says, my queen, you asked for a volunteer.
Annette's gonna look at her and goes, "This man knows that in all likelihood he will be put to death. Yes?"
The she just cries a little bit. I mean, because she knows what's going on, and then the man stands up and says, yes, I know. We knew what we were getting in when we came over here. If I can die for her, it will be almost as good as if I had lived for her.
Very well. I think what would be good, as Tux sort of suggested earlier, perhaps you draft some sort of letter right now saying something to the effect of, "Do not wage war against Waterdeep." You know, draft some sort of letter saying that he and his men acted on their own accord, and that way it keeps you out of hot water, while still putting the blame on this man.
She gets an idea, and she speaks in ancient High Elven to the sergeant, who only two of you understand, and you don't understand everything. What she says, to the extent, is get the wanted paper, the wanted what is it?
Wanted poster.
Yeah, but it's not a wanted poster. He tells him to get
The bounty notice.
the bounty notice. Fuck, thank you, John.
Played how much Red Dead and you couldn't come up with bounty notice?
I know, whatever.
Turn the
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
on, Austin.
Is all the words on it written in bee syrup?
So he has a bounty pre-written for some of these characters, and of the house of Hilari and of Gildor, that they were essentially that these are like renegade pirates from their fleet.
Right.
And she says, "Yes, we knew this might happen. We have some propaganda papers we can put in the sea, and then you can find them, and then you can capture this man in the city as a spy or a bad actor, and take him in for questioning. But if at all possible, if you could make it so he's not tortured too much, or maybe you can kill him yourself quickly."
I mean, short of killing him now and taking his body, I don't know that we can promise that.
Well, he knows the story, and he as an enemy, essentially, as our enemy, they might try and take him in for more questioning to try and turn him, which he's been trained on. So there's that.
Sure,
Maybe we say we go under the guise that we found him and a group nearby holding up after their attack, and he's decided to turn once we slayed his people.
Yes,
maybe they will not, and he gives them false information.
She brightens up a little bit at that.
them.
She brightens up a little bit at that, and then turns to the guy and says, "Do you think that would work?" And her man says, "My lady, that does sound reasonable. Yes, I mean they would most likely be receptive to that. We can certainly try it. I can go with these men and we can work it out." She then gets out.
Feed them false information.
She gets a piece of paper, and writes down the names of some of the houses that I'll give you later.
Mhm.
And she says, these men, if they're still there, and they were just a few years ago, they should still be there. And these were friends of my father and of myself before my brother took over. These are the ones who you can go and talk to and see what they say. She pulls off a ring. The ring has it has the same royal signal that you've seen everywhere else all his entire life, of the royal seals of everything. But in place of, like, the seal is slightly different. in a place like there's still like the lions and there's other things and it's on a field of whatever, but the lion's mouth has a rose in it, whereas the lion that you guys have seen everywhere else doesn't have the rose.
It's almost like how the Nazis flipped the swastika around.
Sure, yeah. So essentially, her royal seal has there's a lion and there's a rose in its mouth, and she says, "You can show this to them, and they will know that you speak on my behalf. But if anyone finds you with that in this kingdom, it is a death sentence to anyone who is a friend of the king.
Quick point of order.
Like instant, and they'll probably torture you to find out where you got it and to find me."
Sure. That's all well and good. Quick point of order. The Captain Islandi knows shit got taken from her. Correct, guys?
Yes. I mean, that's an
assumption. Why don't...
That's an assumption because she hasn't necessarily looked in any of those safe shit.
Sure. What if we... Would it be advantageous of us to pin that on this guy and his crew? Like, hey, they set off this distraction so they could get in there and steal this shit. Anybody pros and cons?
It says that is what we were training to do, is exactly that until we met you. So, yes, that is what we were trying to do.
So
maybe we pin this stuff. I say we give him the dossiers, not necessarily the coded documents, and not the letters because they destroyed them.
Right, and then he just says basically we don't have any interest in the people I was answering to had no interest in these dossiers. They have everything else.
The sergeant who was, well, I say sergeant, the man who was sitting tentatively watching her and who hasn't taken his eyes off of her, says, "My lady," like kind of pensively and a little like whatever, and she's like, "Yes, I know, you're right. You have my man. Please take this gold and use it for whatever you need in your travels as you go around to these houses. Talk more with my man, and he can tell you where to find me and how to reach me. I need to get going." And she goes up to Tux and Annette because you guys. Well, she goes around and hugs all of you. It's a very awkward hug. She's not. It seems like she's not used to hugging people, and it also seems like she's not used to. She's not used to people who don't know how to treat her like a princess.
Right.
So, like, she don't do the thing, and then she kind of just starts hugging you guys. Because she.
I shake her hand.
This is strange.
She puts her arms around you, and then you're like, what is that?
He just high fives her.
Just taps on the forehead, proud of you.
Ouch.
But I mean, she hugs you, and she hugs Tuck and says, "Tuck, your mind is brilliant, and I hope we can talk more soon."
If only the person in charge of you were smarter.
All these women are in love with robots.
Right.
He just wants to do the robot sex scene. That's all it is.
Yeah, you're like Boyle, just older women are attracted to you.
Right.
Of course I'm intelligent. I was created for intelligence.
I don't know what you are, but you're brilliant. And then she turns around and runs off.
Cool.
And then you see some oars stick out of the boat, and then the boat with the men. I can't move.
Well, Varys, I think it's time for you to come up with a story.
What's this sacrifice's name?
You haven't asked him yet.
What is your name, sir? You brave man.
Hold on.
Larry.
His
The
name
cable
is.
guy.
His
The
name
stable guy.
Oh, guys, can I fucking say his name and answer the goddamn question as you guys?
No, we named him just like Barry Blue Jeans.
Holy
Larry the stable guy.
I really like it.
His name is Tor. Tour. Tor.
Okay.
No, Turin. Let's go with Turin. I like Turin better.
Turin. Got it.
Turin. Turin.
The cable guy.
Holy shit.
Thank you, boss. That was fantastic.
No, what I was really waiting for you to do also was after your little outburst was be like, guys, just let me tell you his name. It's Larry the Stable Guy.
Good.
That's what I would have done.
All right. So we're in it. This is obviously where we're going to end our session.